right, Nick. Can you at least acknowledge that Kansas City is sputtering a little right now?
Sputtering?
Yeah.
Can we show the hierarchy again? Is that possible? I don't know. Because what I do know is that Kansas City went to the number 1 team and beat them. Yeah. They went to the number 4 team and beat them. They went to the number 5 team and beat them. They went to the number 10 team and beat them. Baltimore's not on there. They went there and beat them. Oh, but they didn't hang 48 on Denver? Is that the problem? They did hang 43 on Denver, though. 5 points is the difference. The sputtering, I don't know. They just completed the greatest road season in NFL history, Colin. Look it up. 8-0, beating the best team in the league, Buffalo, beating New Orleans, beating Miami, beating Tampa, all in their buildings, beating Baltimore. They're not sputtering. The offense could be better. That's why they only scored 32 points in New Orleans. What are you talking about? Sputtering. They've lost 1 game since before last Thanksgiving. 1 game.
Well, we see
out of your mind.
We see the sports car slightly differently. Now, you will have to admit, you had created this narrative out of thin air that Brady was an old relic. You needed to rust-proof the old car. It was sputtering down the road. His numbers with a new city, new team, new playbook, no coordinator, new roster are better than Aaron Rodgers last year with a new coach. Same team, same city, same space. Brady has shocked you how competent he is, has he not?
Well, competent. You know what? As you get older, competency is the goal. There's competency tests. Make sure you still be able to drive the car. So I guess competence is what we're shooting for here. No, I'd like to congratulate Tom Brady. He's 9-0 this year. And he's doing it all by himself. Because as we know, in Tampa, the rules are when the Bucs win, it's because of Brady. And when they lose, it's Bruce Arians and all of his terrible teammates' fault. So the Bucs 0-5, Tom Brady 9-0, put them together, they're 9-5. Colin, I told you after the Chiefs went to Tampa and won that what was going to happen is Tampa was going to get on the bye and then win 4 consecutive games going into the playoffs and be everyone's hot playoff team before losing in wild card weekend in the postseason. They are halfway home. The only thing that was surprising about that football game was that they were down 17-0 to the Falcons. If you don't have a pass rush, the Bucs will eat you up. If you do have a pass rush, the Bucs are drawing dead, which is why I'm going to caution you of this because of how much you love Tom. You don't want them to move up to the 5 seed. If they move up to the 5 seed and get Washington, they will lose. The Washington pass rush will beat them, and while they'll probably lose if they're the 6th seed and get Seattle or the Rams, at least it won't be as shameful as losing to a 7-9 Washington team, which will happen if they get the 5 seed.
Interesting about OBJ, it is not his fault. But we have all in our life had an older brother, a boss, a mentor that we kind of want to impress. So Baker comes to Cleveland, here comes a superstar, and I think he kind of wanted to make OBJ know he was aware of him. I'm not blaming either of them. But I do think it's indisputable. Baker's now the point guard. You know, he can pass to everybody. He's more comfortable. His body language is good. This is not me blaming. He is absolutely a better quarterback without OBJ. When I watch him now, he looks totally comfortable. There's no pressing. You know OBJ, you like him. Is it possible? Is it possible he was an issue?
You're right. No, you're right. You're right. This is the odd time where removing a super talented player has made the team function better. And I actually think it puts the Browns in a great position because Odell, if traded, that contract becomes super palatable. The guarantees are already paid out. The base salary is I think 12 to 14 million a year over the rest of it. So I think at the minimum, they'd get a good second-round pick, if not a late first-round pick. And in fact, I might even be able to tell you, Colin, they might be able to get the latest first-round pick. How about the 32nd pick? How about a team that's going to win the Super Bowl, that's going to have Sammy Watkins coming off the books? That, could we see Odell follow the Randy Moss career path? Unbelievable start, odd second stop, and then an unbeatable third act. For Randy, it was in New England. For Odell in Kansas City, I mean, the rich get richer, possibly. Who knows? It's just something people are talking about. By people, I mean me. But yes, I do think the one thing you got right about the Browns all year was Odell. I do think that. I think everything else you were wrong about, but the Odell thing, I think you were right about.
I really appreciate that. Nice assist.
No
okay,
problem.
so let's talk about this. I understand people who liked MJ over LeBron. First of all, he was the best player. He was the best looking. He was the most glamorous. He had the best shoot thing. Like Michael was, it was just a force of awesome. Everything. Cool, glamorous, great. Triangle offense. It was Chicago, big city. And I understand it. And I also understand people who like the NBA more 20 years ago, even though the players are better now, because it was very tribal and intense, and the rivalries, it was like college football in the South. Everybody hated everybody. But I do think those people think the LeBron-MJ debate is over, and my argument is Anthony Davis, if you look at all the second-best guys to LeBron for the last 8 years, only one appears to have perfect chemistry and a perfect teammate, AD. You start looking at Harden and Steph and KD and Kyrie and Harden. And I look at this and I think, folks, this LeBron AD thing, this could be a 3-4 year run. Am I nuts on that?
No. I mean, they're the overwhelming favorites this year. The only thing you're nuts on is when you were listing all of Jordan's accomplishments and accolades, you said best looking as if Kurt Rambis wasn't in the league at the same time. But that's neither here nor there. Listen, I think that it would be, I will take the Lakers over the field. I think the Clippers are not better. Do you know the best point guard on the Clippers roster? Chauncey Billups. And the second best is Ty Lue. And they're both coaches. So that problem is not solved. And out east, Brooklyn, to me, is going to be the most watchable team, the most interesting team. They are going to have the best offense in basketball. Kevin Durant is going to stake his claim, I think, once again, as arguably the second best player in basketball. But that team is going to be atrocious defensively. So bad, I don't think they get out of round 2 in the East. I don't think you can beat multiple good teams in 7-game series with defenses that bad. So now who are we talking about? Now you're talking about beating the Sixers, beating the Bucks, beating the Mavs, beating the Nuggets. So I am old enough to remember the consensus opinion being LeBron James chose Los Angeles because of his family, because of Space Jam, because of movies, because he's already accomplished enough. He doesn't need any more rings. He is in a different phase of his career. Maybe he chose Los Angeles because he had just an inkling Anthony Davis might shortly thereafter join him and that they could win 3 championships in a row. Maybe that's why. It's just, another thing just some people are saying.
That OBJ Chiefs thing. Only you would come up with that. That's not good. It's not going to happen, but it is a delicious idea. And I thought to myself,
I mean, I'm just saying, if you're Brett Veach and Andy Reid, and you have the 32nd pick of the draft, which this year they used on a running back who they didn't really need, and Sammy Watkins and his money's coming off the books, and you're looking at the draft, and you're like, well, there's a solid inside linebacker from Georgia, or Odell Beckham Jr., I'm just saying, I think Odell Beckham Jr. could fit. And I might be able to help him find a house there. There's some gorgeous areas. Great place to raise a family. If Odell's ready to settle down, I can talk to him about it.
Good seeing you, buddy. You're doing my show tomorrow. Nick Wright, multiple talented platforms.
You two have a great time off, buddy. Happy holidays.
All right. Thanks, man. Nick Wright. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.